Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing chipping chart. So what the chipping chart is all about is getting some sort of measurement of how far each club you've got will roll once it hits the green. And so we call this the chipping chart. Now in our previous earlier lessons we used the very general method of the power of 6. So in other words, a 6 iron would go 1 in the air and 5 of roll. What we want to do today is we want to develop our own chart that tells us exactly how far each ball's going to roll. Now obviously when you do this you're going to need to do it at your golf course that you play the most on, but it will also change from golf course to golf course. But getting a baseline is really what today's all about, so that you know that you're somewhere in the region when you're on the golf course. So in a moment we'll put up a screen that shows you the information you will need. However, the type of information that we're going to gather today, we're going to gather for each particular club, number 1, the distance in the air that the ball goes. So that's from the time you hit it to when it first hits the ground. 2, you're going to gather the information from where it first hits the ground to where the ball finishes rolling. So that's the total amount of distance that the ball rolls from when it first hits the ground to where it finishes rolling. Then using those 2 pieces of information, you're going to create a ratio and you're going to create a chipping rank for each club that you have in your golf bag. So the screen will come up now. So looking at that chart, what we might see is, say, my 9 iron for example, if it goes 2 meters in the air and then it rolls a further 4 meters. So that gives my 9 iron a ratio of 1 to 2. 1 in the air, 2 on the ground. So when we add those 2 together, that gives us a ranking of 3. So given that my 9 iron's ranked 3, how does that help me on the golf course? Well, if I've got a shot like I've got here that's about 12 meters, if I divide 12 by 3, that gives me a total of 4. And 4 is the distance in the air that my 9 iron can go, and then it will run the rest of the distance on the ground. So it tells me the landing point for my 9 iron. Now sometimes you might do that math on the golf course and you might find that where the ball's going to land is actually unsuitable. If that area is unsuitable, then you will need to change which club you're going to use. So where the ball lands once you've done your maths, if you find that that area is unsuitable, that will tell you that you need to change clubs. And you'll do the same maths formula. Now it might seem a little bit complex, but when you're good at it, this will come very easy to you. And what I suggest to my students again is put the ranking of the club on your shaft of the club that you're going to use. So what we'll do next is I'll show you how to set that all up, how to practice it, and how to get out the information to fill in the chart that you've just seen. So if you wish, you can find that chart on our website, www.the1 Academy of Golf. In there you'll find the chipping chart already set up. All you need to put down is the distance in the air, the roll time for each club, and the formulas will take care of the rest for you. So go there and download that. So what I want to show you next is how to get that information. So for this you'll need pretty much all the clubs that you're going to chip with. Today I've just got 2, but you'll need pretty much all of them, so 6 iron down, maybe even 5 iron down. You need a couple of tees to mark a couple of things. So what I'm going to mark first of all here is I'm going to mark where I'm hitting from. And I need that to stay constant. The second mark I'm going to place at 2 of my steps. 1, 2. So the second mark is where I'm trying to land the ball. Now this should be done on very level ground so you get a really true indication. So we put a couple of T's to indicate where the ball is landing. Now for this exercise, you're not necessarily going at a target, all right? So although we've got a flag in the distance, that's not my goal here. My goal is to play a chip shot and land 2 meters away. So what we do, we play our chip shot, we play a few of them, and when we get a couple of consistent shots, so they're shots that you hit or feel that you've hit really well, and they land consistently in the same area, that's the one you measure. So you will measure firstly 1, 2 to where the ball lands, and then you measure to where the ball runs from there. By doing that, you've got the 2 pieces of information that you need to work out your ratio and your rank for each club. So let's have a look at that in action. So I set up with, first of all, I've got my pitching wedge here, and I'm looking just to land it a couple of meters away. Now sometimes you might find it difficult to pick up where the ball lands. That one went just a little bit past the 2 meter mark. So sometimes might be helpful if you do this with a friend or a partner. Otherwise, you've got to be very alert. And I think that one landed about the same place. So on my measurement, I would measure to where it landed, 1, 2, I'm going to call it 2.5. It landed about 2.5 meters away. And then my next measurement is to where it finishes, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's all the information I need. So I've got 2.5 meters of 2.5 meters of air time, and I've got 4 meters of roll. And I put that into my chipping chart, and that's going to come up with my ranking. Excellent.